to the webinar. The session is, as you all know, initiative taking by developing creative thinking skills. Just what do you think about today's topic? What are your thoughts on that? Is creative thinking a skill or it's a natural talent? So I would request everybody to participate. You can poll as well as you can share your thoughts on the chat. Inputs have started to come in already about the topic. Thank you very much for responding. So as of now, people agree. Most of the majority of the people are agreeing that it's a skill which can be developed. So we will be taking again at the end of the session a poll to see how the opinions have changed or they have not changed. Okay, great. The host is me, myself. I'll introduce quickly myself. My name is Anoop Khandekar. My education, I am BE Mechanical from the 1993 batch, and I have done my post graduation in financial management. I have over 26 years of experience, and mostly it's in the field of MEP projects as well as pharma industry and majorly in properties and facility management industry of real estate. I am also a certified CDF for Dheya since 2018 December, and I also done recently in the lockdown the certification from Bodhi. It's a train the trainer certification. So I'm very happy and thanks Dheya for giving this opportunity to present this important topic which is very much relevant in today's time, and we will discuss that in detail.
Sorry, sir. Actually, like I said, I'm facing some network issues. Uh, I would like to ask the attendees, if you have any questions, please put them in the question and answers tab so that sir can, at the end of the webinar, go through all the questions and answer everything. Thank you.
Yeah, and we will take the question and answer session after the presentation. In the meantime, you can queue up, and the polls are obviously there. The poll results also, there are various polls which we will be taking, and we will share that results at the end of the session. And you can keep on putting the questions in the chat box, and I'll try to answer if possible during the presentation or afterwards when we are taking the question answer session. Yeah, thank you. So moving ahead, so that was my introduction. Now we will go to our topic. Now before we go into the topic, the relevance of the topic and how important it is. So just wanted to share small data with you, and this is a survey which was done in 2018 around between October and December, and it was done for World Economic Forum. Okay, and the results are there, you can see on the net. What it says is that the total estimated workforce in India is around 60 crore, that is 600 million. So out of that, every year there is an addition of workforce which is 13 million, 1.3 CR. It's an addition. People become eligible to work. Now, out of those 1.3 CR or 13 million, approximately more than 70% are technical people. Those are engineers. The rest are majorly doctors, MBAs and others. Then, just to get an idea of this number, who are the largest public sector employers in India? Maybe Indian Railways and Army, each not more than 1.5 million staff. And largest private sector organization, if we take TCS as an example, it's hardly 0.5 million. Okay, so now the report says, the survey says that India must create around 8.4 million jobs, which is 84 lakh jobs. Okay, that is per year, in order to maintain the current employment rate. And going by whatever past records of foreign direct investments, it will approximately need around 546 billion USD. Okay, so this is the level of the problem which we have at hand about the employment as well as the investments, okay, which India is facing, and this is as per the report. Now, so if we see those numbers which we have seen, what it means? It means there is a huge challenge, and that challenge is beyond any government. It is beyond, the economic policies. Those we already started thinking. Now, these numbers are which we discussed or were shown in the previous slide. These are before the COVID thing happened. So we have not taken into account what is the scene now when COVID has already happened. So further it will, change the numbers towards maybe more challenging directions, because we have lot of challenges as we all know post COVID. So how to respond? Okay, now each one of us, whether we are at a graduate level, undergraduate, or maybe somebody aspiring to choose a career or somebody at mid career. Okay, we all have to be, very much creative, as well as we have to be innovative and entrepreneurship driven. Otherwise, this challenge will be unsurmountable. So, what are your thoughts about it? There is a poll also. Please do let me know in chat box. What do you think? Do you agree with the challenge? And how can we, what is the options which are available to us? Okay. So, the challenge which we have got, how we can face that? Now, the objective of this webinar is to explore how to motivate ourselves as well as the other individuals for developing and owning our creative thinking and to decide on its application area, because also we have to think on in which area we can develop these. It's very important to identify the area. Okay, this session will throw light, and it is intended to provoke the thoughts of the participants so that we can surmount these odds by trying to explore and develop our creative talents. Moving ahead, the objective with this seminar, what you can expect in this webinar is definitely we want to create awareness that how much important it is. It's of the prime importance for us to at least identify those areas, and also we will be sharing certain tools which are available in the market which can help us identify. Now, either we already know what are the creative talents which we can develop our own, or we may need to know in context of the job, specifically for the job market. So there are tools available which we will discuss, which definitely the help can be taken anytime, and we can develop these. So, and it is expected also for us to create a right kind of atmosphere if we have children at our who are trying to go into competitive job market, to create the right kind of atmosphere where these talents can be developed. So now I'll like to share what the other experts think about the creative thinking faculties. So here on your screen you can see late Dr. Abdul Kalam, our president. Nobody doubts the ability of this missile, who was the great man and the best scientist which the country has produced. So what I'll do is quickly share his thoughts in form of video, and let us see what he has to say about creative thinking. The video is loading. Please bear with me.
Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. History has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all the human limitations. In every field of human endeavor, whether science, medicine, sports, arts or technology, the names of the people who imagined the impossible are engraved in our history. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they change the world. You take.
So as you see, I hope the video was clear, and we heard about what are Dr. Kalam's view about creativity. So he is laying utmost importance that the person, he may be in any field of technology, of sports or anything, it's very important to imagine, and creativity will enable us to imagine and to reach new goals and outcomes. What do you think about this video? Please let me know. Have you seen it before? Did you enjoy it? Please let me know what is your feedback on the video in the chat box. Now going ahead. So what is creative thinking? In a nutshell, we can see we can divide creative thinking process in three parts. The first is very important: need stimulation. There has to be a need or some kind of a problem which definitely prompts us to think out of the box, and then only we think, okay, fine, this is not something normal and we need to go some other way and brainstorm, think out of the box, and then arrive at some solution which will help us surmounting the problem, which is called a need stimulus. Now, need stimulus can be self-discovered, or it may be some help can be taken if we are facing any issue, which we will come to. So, talking about need stimulus, one more video I'll play here from the field of entertainment. Okay, we have, you can see on your screen, actor Johnny Lever. Okay, now Johnny Lever, as you know, he has a lot of creative talents in terms of mimicking various voices of various actors. The good part, he was aware of this talent. So need stimulus. Now let us talk about need stimulus. Okay, how we'll see this video. which was just shot in the lockdown, and I think some people might have seen this. So, from a fresh perspective, let us again see that how we can understand the need stimulus. Here in this case, Johnny Lever, I'll give you the background. What he's talking. He began his career by selling pens on the road. So when he was selling the pens, what used to happen? He was not able to sell because he did not have that expertise. So then what happened? He had a natural talent that he knows how to mimic the actors. So he started mimicking the actors on the street, and then people used to got attracted, and he used to make a sale. Then somebody suggested him, "Why you are wasting your talent here? You can do it if you," which he did, and today we all know where he is, and he is a great actor. So the need stimulus here, he knew because he had the talent, what talent he needs, he knew. Okay, so now it brings us to the next. So need stimulus we discussed in this case, one case study we have seen. So what do you think about difference between a creative thinking and jugaad? Because we Indians know jugaad very well. We are very ingenuitive. That way we have thinking capability, we face challenges on everyday basis, and we do something which helps us. But then whatever we do, it is kind of a temporary in nature. That's why it is called a jugaad. But if we think about creative thinking, then it has to be a proper, perfect, skilled outcome which has to be developed. So other thing about creative thinking is, because we are facing a problem, that is why we are trying to find out a solution. So it acts as a stress buster also, because you are thinking something, and to think you have to be in a positive mode. And to do that, sometimes many people are doing monotonous jobs or maybe studying. So how do students motivate themselves? Some people just use earphones when they are doing some journals. So it is just kind of a stress buster. So that is why it is very important to take a break and think how we can change something and be more creative. The truth is, as we have seen today, in today's world, whether we are undergraduate, mid-career level, or any level, we have to have creative skills and initiatives which we have to take from time to time, so that we are able to solve the problems which we are facing. So the man on your screen here, Muhammad Ali, okay, very famous boxer who was 3 times WBC heavyweight champion. Very important views which he has shared. You can see his statement is, a man who views the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Now, this is very important statement. How? Because if you see today, webinar maybe in their 40s, late 30s or 40s, they will have their kids, preparing for 10th and 12th exams. So what happens? When we probably were doing 10th and 12th, what happened? We had engineering and maybe medical as a major stream. Today also it's a major stream, of course. But what has happened? The world has changed a lot. There are a lot of streams of education as well as jobs have been added because of technology, because of economy, and because of various social changes which are happening. So are we aware? Are we aware? Because everybody is busy. We are busy in our job. We are busy in whatever time we have for our personal needs. So it's very important for us to realize that we are not aware. Then definitely the next generation of ours also definitely will feel that fine, they have missed out something. So this brings us to the topic career planning. Now Dheya as a firm has been in the career guidance since last 14 years, and the huge research has gone in the field of career, developing how the careers can be planned for the students, what are the needs, what are the interests of the people, how the needs and interests can be mapped, what kind of jobs and talents are available. So if you see on your screen, their research has shown that there are more than 300 education streams which we have now, more than 600 career streams, and more than 22,000 professions are available. Okay, and if you see the research, there are 7 abilities, 9 personality traits, 16 interests, maybe around 12 career categories, 4 modes of work. Somebody may do a job, somebody may be self-employed, somebody may be having a business, or maybe entrepreneur. So what happens? There is a huge potential. There is like a huge area which we are not aware, maybe for our kids or ourselves, where we may take the help of the tool which is there. So they are using software, and it's based on the research. There is a software developed which maps using a computer and software, what is the ability which we have innate, what is the personality type, what are the interests of a person. So what will happen now, once we are thinking about how we can be creative? The creativity we cannot build from zero. We have to have some skill which we have to develop in a different way, or in a way it's used us to get the proper kind of job, to find what kind of job is suitable for us, and then we can develop ourselves from there. So this particular software which DI has also helps that out of these 22,000 streams or so many job lines, which exactly will be the area where a person is more fit or suit. For example, a person, somebody's kid might be having a personality more of an outdoor kind of personality. So what will happen if a person then applies for a job or for education which is more kind of a sedentary, then he will not be able to enjoy and he will not be able to contribute creatively. Okay, so this is what is the need. Again, the need analysis becomes very important, especially for choosing the careers and for further planning our careers at the later stage as well. So, what are your thoughts about it? Now, coming to Steve Jobs, as we know, the Steve Jobs is a proven creative person. Okay, in the modern times, and no introduction is needed for him. So, how creativity motivated him? Because he used the creativity to think ahead of his customers. Okay, he knew before what has to be offered to customers. So that is the reason why today the brand which he has built is as it is. Now let us also see some failure stories, because I remember Dr. Abdul Kalam's words. Okay, he has said that success story everybody reads, everybody likes, but how many of us implement or are getting motivated by? It's a temporary motivation, but basically a person, fear factor is more important in our life, as we know. So failure stories are also very important, because once the failure we know, we are more conscious that okay, fine. There may be 10 success stories we have heard, but we will not that much get inspired, as once we know okay, fine, we may fail here, then we'll say okay, fine, let me take care, let me not fail. So here, slide which you see now on your screen, first of all, let me clarify here that we are not trying to pass any judgment on any corporate or any company. This is just for information and our understanding which we are using this slide, and we are quoting this company. So basically this is a corporate creativity case study. The comparison here is made between Mahindra and Mahindra on the right side, and on the left side is Premier Automobiles Limited. Many people who were in the colleges in the 90s like me, we all know about these companies very well. So Premier, if you see, okay, it was a pioneer company in 90s. Since 1950 it existed. Both of these companies are Indian companies. What happened? There was no creative development in models by the Premier, and the other models which were just kind of introduced in Indian market were not made in India or developed in India. On the other hand, if you see Mahindra, what happened? They were creative enough to make sure they are making small changes, maybe not very big changes in the model. Maybe we don't know, the chassis may be also same for many vehicles, but the look and feel were different. Customer, what the customer wants, they were aware. So today, while the Premier is running in the losses and the Mahindras, we are having revenue of billions of US dollars. So this is a case study of corporate where creativity has played an important. I am sure in our lives, we all, whatever in jobs we have, whatever jobs we are doing, we have a lot of such examples in our life as well as our corporate lives. The only thing is we have to be mindful about that. Now, there is one more video, but maybe I do not know. I'll just mention this. I'll try to play the video. This is a case study of Sachin Tendulkar. Now, this is an ideal example of how the creativity in action, when it is implemented, is an excellent initiative. The background of this is that when Shane Warne was at peak, okay, Australian team traveled to India. And Sachin Tendulkar wanted to practice and made sure that he's one up on Warne. So what happened? What he did was went to Ravi Shastri, who advised him, okay, fine, you are shorter in height, so you need to act aggressively and you have to attack. So what this person, Mr. Sachin Tendulkar, does, he uses his creativity. Okay, he thinks, okay, fine, who is the best leg spinner available in India? Okay, we have Lakshman Krishnan. He's in Chennai. Okay, so he goes to Chennai, he goes to MRF Foundation, and he asks him, okay, Shivram Krishnan, you bowl to me. He makes a patch rough on the leg side and asks him to bowl there. He practices there for 4 days. Then what happens? When Australia comes and he faces Shane Warne and he is a hit, immediately he has sorted out Warne. So what worked here? One, his creative. How do I tackle this problem? The second, implementing it. So this is an ideal example. And till date, till the time he was active in cricket, Sachin Tendulkar dominated Shane Warne, and while Shane was dominating the other players in cricket. Okay. So now we have discussed enough stories for people who are famous personalities from each and every field. We have taken person case study from sports field, from entertainment field. Now let us also see one case study which is a very much domestic case study as far as I am concerned. So on your screen you saw the first picture is for a face mask. Now when the COVID started, I faced a typical problem that the masks were not available. So what do we do? Okay, my wife was creative enough to create a mask out of nothing. one handkerchief and some sieving material was used and I could save 500 rupees. Same way, there is a magic wand. If you see in the picture second, it's a Harry Potter magic wand. Who made it? 12th class student made it. Okay. Normally, if you go to market or in Amazon, it will cost you 3,000. Now, this particular thing is made piece of wood, which is available near our premises. Case study number 3. Again, this is a mobile box made out of a tissue paper. So, what here the intention to share with you is that we have creativity available at home, and the only thing it has to be expressed, it has to be encouraged at various levels. And one more step ahead is that how do we carry it forward to commercialize it, maybe to start making it commercially or marketing it and selling it. So it will make a huge difference. There is a market always for any product or for any service. But what is important is that how we are going to tap this, how we are going to develop this talent and encourage our kids to make it commercially viable. So the man on your screen now is G.R.D. Tata. I hope everybody knows. He's quite famous. He is the pioneer of Indian industry. Everybody knows him, especially all the people who are working. They all know who is G.R.D. Tata. So what are his thoughts about creative thinking? What does he think? His statement is, uncommon thinkers, they reuse what common thinkers refuse. So again, a big statement. This statement I'll use now to just summarize whatever we have discussed till now about creative thinking. So I'll use the word from G.R.D. Tata, what he has mentioned. So first is always, what are the restrictions? Restrictions we realize. What are our restrictions? This is the first step in need analysis. We have to see what are the restrictions, realize how they are impacting us. Then the next step will be research. Okay, research what are the various options, brainstorm various methods we use for arriving at various options. Then reorganize the resources in such a way that it suits to the best. Then relay, which is implement, and then we can reap the benefits. So this is how it's easy to remember and summarize about creative thinking. So now what next? We have seen what is creative thinking, how it can be developed. So what is the action plan? The next step is obviously to make an action plan for us. So it starts with identification, as we have seen, of where. In case of a student, we can always use the career guidance tool, and we can also use for various career levels. Then all possible ways we can visualize, we can do various techniques we can use which are available for brainstorming and for various out of box thinking solutions. And then what important thing which we must follow is also R&R, which is recognition and rewarding. What happens, as previously we have discussed, that every house, every person is creative in some way or the other. But how to make sure that we are allowing it to develop further? By recognizing it and by rewarding it. Okay, the examples which I have shown from my house, I am sure every house has it. Every company, everything has, every organization has these kind of people who are contributing in a little way. But how do we reward them? So again, I'll take my example, what I have done at my home. Some 10 years back, I was facing a problem that my kids were missing their buses. So lot of time their school bus, they missed, say once at least in a 10 days or 7 days, there was a school bus missed, and then somebody has to go and drop them at school. So here the reward mechanism was that, okay, fine, it was kind of a plan made for them from our side that, okay, you will get a pizza party every 50% achievement of the school bus. So it worked. So what I'm trying to say here is we have to create some kind of positive atmosphere by rewarding and recognizing the efforts which people make, maybe small, and it will go a long way in motivating them to be creative in life or to think differently. So this is bringing us to an end of session. So to recap, we discussed why creative things are important. We saw the case studies. We saw what is creative thinking process. We also discussed about which tools are available for finding out which are the areas which you can develop. So I'm sure this is just a beginning. Once we realize that, okay, these are the things we have to. So with this, we are coming to the end of the session. If this was not an online session and it was a normal interactive session, definitely we would have asked everybody to share one example of creativity where they have used in their personal life. But here it's not giving us the platform, but it is encouraged for the people who are on this webinar to share this after the webinar. And the other thing is, please, a request again after the webinar to take advantage of this webinar. Please identify one personal and one professional need, stimulus, and plan for it. Now I'll quickly share the details, the poll results which we have conducted. So now the first poll which we did, do you agree that scientifically identifying our kids' potential will help building our relevant creative thinking skill? I think 98% people are agreeing, which is good. Okay, and the creative thinking often is a stress buster. Again, maximum people are agreeing to it. Thank you very much for participating in the polls. So again, the role of MSME and the entrepreneurs. Most people are agreeing that yes, in the next 5 years, more people are going to impact if they are creative, and around 75% people have polled in the favor. 97% people have polled. They have said that entrepreneurs and MSME contribution will at least double in coming 5 years. One last part. Everybody is agreeing that its creative thinking skills can be developed and they are very important. So thank you very much once again for participating in the webinar. So Hari Krishna is saying Jugad itself is a creative thinking when it is done by uneducated or so-called not recognized in the current education. Yes, I do agree. I do agree, Mr. Hari Krishna. The only thing is it has to be long lasting. Okay, it should not be temporary, and you are right. Okay, so as per our call, one of the question was that how many people are aware of psychometric based career guidance. So I think many people are not aware. So this, I think, this should serve as a good starting point. Harsh is asking, are there any online platform who pays the creative ideas? See, basically, creativity, definitely we have to think about how to market that idea, because nobody will pay. Everybody in India tries to get advice for free. In fact, people are also using other people's ideas to create your own money. So I'm afraid there's no such platform available. So Rudrani, the answer to your question, it's very much beneficial. It's more than 95% of accuracy. It tells about the traits, what are the strengths and abilities of a person's interest. It helps us choosing the right kind of career. It also helps us, solving the dilemmas. For example, if somebody is taking engineering, after engineering he has to go in research or sales or production. It can help to that extent. I hope it is clear.
Basically, psychometric test can actually help you understand different perspectives of the child. So you may think that the child is intelligent, he's scoring good marks, so engineering is a good option for that guy. But engineering is not everything. That's what we are trying to say. Or one field that parents usually have in their mind for their kids. That's not everything. Psychometric tests help you pinpoint exactly what type of career will make the child happy and successful both.
Yes, thank you very much. And Vijay, basically what I would like to add here, that it's totally scientific research based. Okay, there has been research which is very scientific in nature, which is carried out, and it is accurate. It has been proven accurate. So there should be no apprehension about it. And this is actively used now in India also. In abroad, it is used at all levels, not only education but also in the work field, before hiring an employee or before promoting any employee. So the age, Rudrani, you are asking about the age. I think after 14, because after age of 14, the brain is totally developed and the person is ready for psychometric assessment.
So I would like to thank all the attendees for coming here today and listening to Anoop sir deliver this very extraordinary session. And thank you, Anoop sir, for coming here and giving this session.
Thank you very much, Suruchi, and the entire Dheya team for giving.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.